Hi, this is John McCarthy, CPI in Chicago, with today's morning message. Um, I wanted to talk about the most important thing that happened in the past several days, which is the Humanity for Peace rally that happened in New York City and the sister rallies that happened all over the world. There's a lot you could say about those. The coalition could have and should have been a little bit more broader and inclusive or whatever. But the most important thing about that rally is the message that was sent to it by Democratic presidential candidate Robert F. Kennedy Jr. He wasn't able to attend in person, but he recorded a message. And the reason why that's so important is because of two things that he said in his message. Number one, that we are closer to a nuclear war right now than we have ever been since the Cuban Missile Crisis. Closer to nuclear exchange than at any time since the Cuban Missile Crisis, in which his uncle, who he knew very intimately, played a key part in diffusing. And the second thing that he said is that the one thing that prevented that from becoming a nuclear war and destroying all higher life on the planet no longer exists. That is a personal relationship between the President of the United States and the President of Russia. That existed back then. The reason that you and I are still alive, the reason we were ever even born, most of us, is because that personal relationship existed at that time. And what he goes through in his talk to the Humanity for Peace rallies is that Kennedy and Khrushchev had to outsmart the people around them in order to create that personal relationship. At a certain point, they both came to realize they couldn't trust their own officials, so the people working for them, surrounding them, were war hawks, committed war hawks, who were determined to follow a course that would have led to war. So they went around what you might call the deep state and started on the sly communicating with each other through back channels and cables and secret messages. That doesn't exist anymore. Not only doesn't it exist, but because of Russiagate, it's practically been criminalized. Trump tried to have that relationship, and he was forced to abandon it. Biden even started one recently. When the Russians started saying that they needed security guarantees, he told them, yeah, we'll do that. Then he came back to the United States, and he was ordered not to. Because presidents don't make foreign policy. The establishment does, the military-industrial complex. And presidents have the power to stand up to that, but they don't. And so that's what Kennedy went through. A direct, close relative of President John F. Kennedy, the man who saved the human race from thermonuclear destruction, a direct relative of him with personal insights into what happened at that period, just recorded a statement saying that we are as close to nuclear war now as we were then, and that mechanism that Kennedy and Khrushchev personally created to save us from that does not exist today. Now, this is news. This is what everybody should be talking about. Every single cable channel, every newspaper, all of independent media. Now, we understand why mainstream corporate media isn't talking about this. They're controlled by that same deep state military industrial complex that Khrushchev and Kennedy had to go around, that they had to outsmart. They control the media now. Back then they sort of did, but there was enough independence that, they had to at least try to pretend like they were reporting the news. Now it's a monopoly. 6 corporations own everything, and the same people are on the board of directors as well as 6 companies. So we understand why they're not talking about this. But why isn't independent media? Independent media is not talking about it because they're fixated on the main story, according to them, about Robert F. Kennedy. It's his admittedly piggish views on Israel and Palestine. His views are wrong, his views are bad. But I'll tell you what, if you care about Palestine, you need to make sure we repair the relationship between Russia and the United States and de-escalate this conflict immediately. Because otherwise, you want to talk about a one-state solution? Israel has nuclear weapons, and Israel is a very close ally of the United States. If nuclear war starts, Russia's going to have to target them. And every single Israeli and every single Palestinian, they'll be in one state, all right. The state of death. That whole area will be one big pile of radioactive ash. So that'll be your one-state solution. So not to say that he shouldn't be challenged on that, not to say that issue isn't important, but the most important issue right now, we're at about 30 seconds to midnight. The most important issue is de-escalating this conflict between Russia and the United States, reestablishing the mechanisms that prevented nuclear war in the past, and doing it immediately. And I don't care who you vote for. I don't care if you vote, right? I don't care what party you are. But if you care about Palestinians, if you care about the human race, if you care about hamsters, goats, dogs, cats, and chickens, we need to stop this war. And we have been provided with a amazing tool for helping to stop that war. This short but powerful message that John F. Kennedy's nephew has just recorded. Now, I urge you to watch it. I urge you to share the hell out of it. I urge you to use it to wake up your friends and neighbors and your enemies too. Wake up everybody using this amazing tool. Now, in some of the archives of the rally in New York City, only part of this message is shown. It's like the recording of the rally started in the middle, so it's hard to find. But a friend of CPI, my personal friend, Lori Spencer, who runs the Strange Bedfellows podcast, she has posted this, the entire recorded message by RFK Jr. on her YouTube channel, the Strange Bedfellows podcast channel. I think there's another YouTube channel called just Strange Bedfellows, but Strange Bedfellows podcast YouTube channel by Lori Spencer. She has RFK's entire sobering and important warning message that he sent to this conference. And please, I urge you, watch that over and over again, internalize it, and use it as an organizing tool to stop this war before it stops all life. Okay, thank you.